to masterclass number 2 with me, Claire Pafitas, the Ayurveda coach, in collaboration with Morley Rituals. So thank you again to Anita and Bitu and all the team for having me back. And today, following on from masterclass number 1, which is all about your Agni and what that means, what it's about, how to look after it. Today I wanted to do something a little bit more interactive, just to talk you through some of the herbs and spices that we can find in our own kitchen cupboards at home that can really help you to look after your Agni at home. So, starting up with the key spice, I think, in terms of looking after digestive health. So, cumin seeds, so brown cumin seeds, because you can get black ones too and they do something different. But these brown cumin seeds, they're otherwise known as jiraka in Sanskrit, and this comes from the word jirna, which literally means digestion, so also known as jira in Hindi. So we can see where its name comes from. We can see that thousands of years ago, even the name for this amazing little seed was linked to digestion. So it's absolutely fantastic for looking after your Agni. And in the ancient Ayurvedic text, so in the Charaka Samhita, it talks about using cumin seeds to help with abdominal pains and that sort of thing, bloating, those sorts of feelings. So we use cumin seeds a lot in Ayurvedic medicine, and you can use it too in home remedies, and I'm going to show you how. First thing just to know about these, they're particularly good for balancing Vata and Kapha, but they are slightly pungent and they have some heat, so they're also good for Pitta too, but we shouldn't use it in excess, because that could aggravate Pitta because it has similar qualities to the Pitta dosha. But there's lots of different ways you can use this. I'm going to talk you through how to use the seeds for each of the different doshas, and then a more general usage as well. So follow me over to the frying pan, because the first thing we need to do is actually to just dry fry these seeds. Just take out the stickiness and get them ready to grind them up to a powder so that we can use it a little bit more. Okay, so take your whole cumin seeds. It's really important that you use the whole seed. And we're just going to put them in a dry frying pan, so no oil needed, nothing like that. We're going to dry fry them a little bit. Let me show you how. So put the seeds in the dry frying pan, and then just give them a little shake. They can catch quite easily, so I've got this on quite a high heat. And I'm just going to move those around a little bit, and they will start to release their fragrance and go a little bit brown and toasty. Now that usually takes, on a high heat, about 1 minute, I would say, maybe 1 minute 30 seconds. So just keep moving them around. You can see now actually they've already gone a little bit darker. That's probably only been about 30 seconds. So keep doing that, keep moving them around. This is to take out the stickiness. And then the next thing we're going to do once they're ready is to grind them up into a powder. Okay, so we've toasted the cumin seeds. They're lovely and fragrant now, it's smelling amazing in the kitchen. And the next thing you have to do is grind them up into as fine a powder as you can. So if you have a coffee grinder or a NutriBullet, that's obviously the quickest way to do that. Otherwise, good old-fashioned pestle and mortar, bit of elbow grease, and what you end up with is this lovely dark brown cumin seed powder, which smells really, really lovely actually. It's delicious. Now, the beautiful thing about this is you can use it to help balance your Agni, help look after your digestive system, to ease things like bloating, discomfort after eating, possibly some acid reflux, belching, those kind of issues. Anything at all where it's not feeling comfortable, as we talked about in the first masterclass, this is a really simple home remedy to help you. Now, if you know a little bit about the doshas, you'll know that they all behave differently, they all have different qualities, and you can modify this recipe according to your dosha, or how you're feeling on a particular day. So if you're feeling particularly Vata, there's a lot of bloating and gas. If you're feeling a little bit anxious, maybe not sleeping very well, or those kind of Vata disorders that our dear Vata suffer from, try taking the cumin powder with about half a teaspoon of, that's the cat, with about half a teaspoon of melted ghee. I think it's nicer when it's a bit melted. You can just mix that up a little bit in a cup or in a bowl and drink it or eat it with a spoon. So that would be one way of doing it for Vata. We talked about cumin being a little bit hot and pungent, so it's okay for Pitta, you don't need to worry too much, but if you feel like you're a very Pitta person, obviously you don't have too much cumin, but to create a balance, try taking it with something like coconut oil. So again, half a teaspoon of cumin powder with half a teaspoon of raw pressed coconut oil. Coconut is very cooling for Pitta, so it helps to balance out that hot pungency of the cumin, but you'll still get all the benefits. Finally, for Kaphas need a little bit more of that heat actually, so they can take the cumin with something like honey. That would be nice sweetness for Kapha, they'll like taking it, and also honey has a kind of extra heating and scraping action in the body, so really good for removing Kapha type toxins as well. So half a teaspoon of cumin powder with half a teaspoon of honey. And do all of this before you have your meal. So it helps to balance the Agni and create a nice environment before you eat your food. Now, there's one other really brilliant thing you can do with these magic cumin seeds, and that is to make something called cumin water. So I'm just very quickly going to take you through how you do that and what the benefits are. Cumin water. Now this is something that's used all over India for lots and lots of different things, as well as helping with bloating and digestive issues, because you can sip this after a meal and it really helps to settle the tummy a little bit if you've overindulged. Clear complexion, shiny hair, detoxifying the liver, so lots of different uses. It's really simple to make. You take those toasted cumin seeds that we prepared earlier, and you put 1 teaspoon of those into a pan with about a cup of water. So I've got my lovely little mini saucepan over here, which is actually what my husband uses to make his Greek coffee, but it's quite handy for making this little remedy. But you can use anything that you have, and bring that to a simmer, and then bring it down. Just let that gently simmer for about 5 to 10 minutes, and it will start to turn a lovely tea colour, so that will get darker and darker. So just let that simmer a little bit longer. After 5 or 10 minutes, just strain that off into a glass. It will be darker than that. Here comes the cat. And allow that to cool, and then, as I say, you can sip that and get all the benefits from the cumin seed. Okay, another really popular Ayurvedic home remedy for really boosting the digestive fire and giving that Agni a good old kick is to use ginger, lime and salt, and to have that before your meals. Now this is a really, really good one if you are feeling a kind of kapha digestion or a very slow digestion, and if you're feeling a little bit sluggish, maybe if you've had a bit of a cold and things are just feeling a little bit slow in the digestion, then this one is really quite good, and it's good for all the families. So everyone can have this. It's just ginger, lime and salt. It's not a big deal. So some fresh fruit ginger, and what I like to do is either slice a little bit off and squeeze the lime over the top and a sprinkle of salt, or it's quite nice just to grate that ginger a little bit. So I would grate roughly about half a teaspoon or so. Just take that up there, put it on the spoon, and then you're going to cut the lime, squeeze that on as well. And you just want a little sprinkle of rock salt. That is actually probably quite a generous bit of root ginger. I'm going to take a bit of that off, it's going to blow my head off. So a little bit like that, on the spoon with the lime. Doesn't matter if we get a bit messy. The cat's here again, and then gingery, salty, limey. Now that is really going to perk up the Agni. So, woo! Give that a try at home, let me know how you get on. Okay, I just have to share with you all that my husband, off camera, he's my cameraman today, he's just had his 3rd go at the ginger, lime and salt. He said all that's missing is the tequila, so yeah, don't overdose on the ginger, lime and salt, and don't mix it with tequila if you want the Agni benefits. Right, last one. So the last home remedy, spices that really help with digestion and your Agni, is the beautiful ajwain seed. Here she is, tiny, tiny little seeds, also known as carom. And these little beauties are used, again, a lot in India in kind of home remedies for things like trapped wind, colic. So I think as well they often give Ajwain water to babies and things to help ease colic. And again, this is something you can have if you're feeling that kind of discomfort of the trapped wind after eating. So I know a lot of my patients sometimes suffer with those sort of feelings. It's not very nice. The other thing I've found it's quite good for is in pregnancy, so with kind of morning sickness, making a really weak version of this is really helpful for just settling the tummy when you feel a little bit sick during early pregnancy. It's something you can just sort of sip throughout the day when you're feeling a bit nauseous. So you can give that a try as well. And again, it's so simple. So you take the whole seeds again, just like we did with the cumin, and dry toast those in a frying pan. Now I'm going to say probably best to do one teaspoon of the seeds is all you're going to need. Toast that about 30 seconds, 1 minute till it's brown and fragrant, and we pop it back into the pan. Now 2 cups of water for this one. 1 teaspoon of Ajwain, toasted Ajwain seeds, 2 cups of water, and again let it simmer for about 5 to 10 minutes. Take that off the boil, strain it, leave it to cool, and that's something that you can drink, you know, sip on a little bit after meals if you feel discomfort, or you can enjoy sipping that during the day if you have any sort of feelings of nausea or morning sickness. It's really helpful. Thank you for joining me on the second masterclass with me, Claire Perfitis, the Ayurveda coach and Morley Rituals. So today we talked about balancing the Agni and the home remedies that we can use to do that, and I hope that was really helpful. So those are just 4 remedies that you can try at home. As you can see, really simple, really easy, quick to do, and I hope it's demystified the process a little bit, just sort of seeing me do it and seeing how quick it is. But there's loads of remedies out there, so go out and, you know, look into it a bit more if it interests you, see what works, try them out, try different ones, because it's not always a one size fits all. And if you have maybe a family remedy, it's always your go-to, you know, share it with me. I'd love to hear what it is you guys do when you have digestive issues at home. And yeah, just give it a try, because, you know, we can all feel a bit off sometimes, and if we've overindulged, or we, you know, not feeling so good, it's really good to kind of do those digestive boosting things and have those remedies to hand. So I hope you all get a chance to give them a try, cheap and easy. And next time, join me next week for the 3rd masterclass, and it'll be in the kitchen again, and I'm going to be talking all about my sort of kitchen cupboard saviours. So it's not just remedies this time, not so much to do with the Agni, but talking through all the sort of different herbs and spices that you might have at home that you might be interested in, and what their health benefits are and how you can use them. So again, kind of broadening this theme of how to take care of yourself at home. See you next week.